TPR.
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 130 of the TBR pod. Today's episode is with our good friend of the podcast, our personal friend, creator of the Chalant crew name, Nadir Shehzad. He's also a very famous musician and creator in that scene. This episode is on the heels of his latest release, which is his single and accompanying music video, Atomy Event. Links below to everything. We talk about Nadir's musical journey in this episode, how he got into music, his first band, Sikandar Ka Mandir, their albums, his time at Indus Valley, and also how this song came about. So, this is a great episode. If you're familiar with Nadir, if you're familiar with Sikandar Ka Mandir, they have been, without a doubt, in the past 10, 15 years, 10 years, they've been one of the most influential underground indie sound bands that have come up in Pakistan. And another band leader, songwriter, is one of the most creative people we've known. He happens to be our friend, but that is also true. So yeah, check out the episode, check out the song, the music video. He made it all. Nearly everything was done by Nadir on his own in his house. Great effort, great result, and yeah, leave a comment. Oh, by the way, I forget, but leave a comment, subscribe, like, share, send money. Every episode you listen to, you have to do that because Irfan Junejo tells me that this helps. And also the views and listens are down, and this is like a whole separate thing. But why? Stop doing that. Listen to everything we do, the whole episode. Okay, without further ado, episode number 130 with the one, the only Nadir Shehzad. How is speaking of wo tension? How was the response to your song that you released about 12 hours ago?
हाँ नहीं एक्चुअली काफी काफी फिट चल रही है अभी फिलहाल
Yeah.
I don't I mean no complaints. I mean I've released like 2 songs in the last like month and a half or so, or पहला गाना was whatever, but this one like अचानक से काफी ज्यादा like good responses or good critic reviews.
अच्छा, critic reviews भी आ रहे
uh,
हैं.
हाँ.
अच्छा.
So yeah, those are nice. I mean, sure, like people say, "Oh, very nice, thank you, a nice video." Yeah, but like generally, like people, जो music industry के जो लोग हैं, वो काफी कह रहे हैं कि good scene वगैरह.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that. But मैं सोचा था कि once upon a time when you lived in Karachi, several years ago, we tried doing an audio podcast about the life of Nadir Shehzad. And वो फिर मैंने fuck कर दिया था क्योंकि I had forgotten to plug my mic. No, my mic was plugged in. I had forgotten to select the right audio source. So I was recording directly into my laptop screen. तो वो नए नए जमाने थे और मुझे टेंशन हो गई. And we had a लंबी चौड़ी बात and I was like, यार ये तो नहीं हो सकता इस्तेमाल, ये तो ऑडियो क्वालिटी सही नहीं है. खैर, so it's been long enough for that to have passed, and now we can do that same conversation again because I'm sure neither of us remember baat kya hui thi. So is that fine? Is that something? Do you think this is good?
I honestly don't remember like what we did in that podcast. Yeah, kya subject matter tha, so I mean it's going to be a surprise for me.
So this is going to be like road to Atomy Event wali this podcast. Starting from first question, Nadir, how did you get into music?
How did I get into music? Honestly, I don't know. I kind of like when I was
Great answer.
पता नहीं when I was like in my like O level से भी पहले मुझे बस वो काफी शौक होता था like obviously my mom was a big inspiration for me, like I think when I was like 5 or 6, she gave me like a mixtape with like a bunch of Beatles songs, bunch of Boney M songs, bunch of ABBA songs, and
He was into music.
she was into listening to music for sure. And she made me that cassette, and she gave me a Walkman, and she was like, "Okay, go." So after that, मैं उससे और भी like चीजें बनवाने लगा खुद मैंने. We had like this computer उस जमाने में, obviously वो CD player मेरे पास अलग सा नहीं था, so like we had this computer जिसका aux would go into like a cassette deck. So I would record through the cassette deck, and वो computer से गाने CD पे डाल के I used to record it. So I used to make a bunch of mixtapes for myself. I remember Elvis and Simon and Garfunkel and wo wala zamana. So I just kind of started to do that, and then I started cataloging a lot of things. Like every time I would listen to a new band or album, मेरे पास एक कोई file होती थी जिसमें I used to draw their album artwork and kind of catalog के अच्छा ये best गाने हैं okay. तो एक मेरे पास file होती थी with all these
How
like
old are you when this is
Aerosmith
happening?
type के. So this is between the ages of 5 and 12, I would believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that file, like actually the folder that it was in was an X Files folder.
Oh.
Like so that was specifically my music folder. just keep my music की चीजें खुद से पेपर से बना के मैं रखता था, और उसके अलावा मेरी बस एक cassettes and CDs की एक wall होती थी. So yeah, I think then I kind of one Eid I kind of put together some EP and bought myself an acoustic guitar for 2,500 rupees. जिसका action इतना ज़्यादा था.
Oh, nice.
And I mean, I learned all the basic chord chords on that.
How did you learn? Like from a book?
Yeah, I learned from a book. I didn't learn internet पे scene नहीं था उस ज़माने में.
Yeah.
But I learned from a book, and like for like I would do like really stupid mistakes, especially एक जो stupid mistake मैंने की थी. जो G major का जो chord है, you need to put your like middle finger on the 3rd fret. मैं 2nd fret पे करता था, so the G major was more like a F sharp type of chord that I used to play.
Okay.
And it was because I didn't really see anyone play that chord.
You only saw the circles on the lines. Those
circles on the lines, yeah. Yeah. So then Itwar Bazaar mein kafi like magazines bhi milti thi, guitar magazines and all that. So I just kind of picked those up, and then usse I kind of found a lot of other musicians and bands and everything, going and looking for those magazines. So I think that kind of also opened up my scene. But I think what really kind of helped also was when I met the underground scene in Karachi.
Yeah. When was that?
Dude, when I was 16.
So this is like
2003 or something.
Yeah.
तो उस जमाने में एक बॉय होता था, नहीं 3 भी नहीं, 5.
Okay, yeah.
5, That was when I was in, like I was 10th or 11th grade के बीच में, right? So I met this guy called Junaid Kamran. He used to have this band called Ash.
Yeah.
And he taught me a lot of, all the mistakes I was making, he corrected them.
Right.
G is tarah bachta hai, this power chords. And
how did you meet him?
I met him through my sister. He was in school with my sister, and my sister was like, "Bro, isko guitar sikha do."
Yeah.
He wants to learn, and he was in a band, so yeah, okay, chalo. So for a while, my mom actually paid him to teach me, like for like 2-3 months or so. So he was first proper guitar
Yeah.
teacher. And I was in Ash for a little while. Like I
Were
played
you
guitar
in
for
the
them.
band at that time?
No. Us zamane tak, I had made my other band.
Acha.
So I think that was more of an interim period. Ke, तुम कर लो मेरे साथ, ये थोड़ा सा, I'll take you under your wing, my wing, and then उसके बाद you can kind of do
Yeah.
whatever you want. And that's what I then eventually did. एक होता है फेमस सा इंडी म्यूजिशियन शज्जी के नाम से, उसके साथ एक मैंने बैंड बनाया.
Yeah.
And we also used to do grunge covers, but mostly Pearl Jam covers.
Whereas
And
Ash
then
was more Nirvana.
Nirvana, Silverchair, Alice in Chains, उस तरह का scene था. We did Pearl Jam covers. We also did like Beatles covers. We did like System of a Down covers. Like no like genre, ka scene, like just whatever we wanted to do. And that's when we kind of started to say, yeah, let's start writing our own songs. So I think the first song I wrote was about how much I hate my sister.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't a good song.
Yeah.
But
for many reasons.
For many reasons, yeah. But फिर उसके बाद बनाना शुरू किया. But I think by this time वो थोड़ा सा मैं like बड़ा भी हो रहा था. And then I kind of got into Indus as well eventually. This was like between
Late
O levels and
teens.
A levels.
Yeah.
So Indus kind of really made me busy. I mean, it was tough school to be in. तो उसमें थोड़ा सा music kind of took a step back, at least until like the second year.
Okay.
I think around that time, like A levels or Indus ke beech mein, I also met Daniel Hayat. And he was also always kind of surrounded by musicians. I was also always kind of surrounded by musicians, or I surrounded myself with these musicians. And I found this guy called Khizr, and eventually this other guy. So I was with Khizr. I was performing at this gig. It was not a gig. It was actually a play. It was a play. It was, and we had to play the music for the play, theater play. And the director of the play was like, guys, do you want like an extra guitar player? So we were like, sure, why not? We're up for it. And that guitar player was Ali Sohail.
Okay.
And I think that was, uske baad, like Ali Sohail, me, and Khizr were Sikandar Ka Mandir for the most part. Ali already had Jumbo Jet before that.
Yeah.
So wo ek scene tha, but like I was like, bro, please aa jao. So yeah. So
is that
Ali
when
Sohail,
Sikandar Ka Mandir formed?
Yeah.
Achha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say like third or fourth year of Indus.
Right.
I mean, like that's when I kind of started making music with the intention of making music for Sikandar Ka Mandir,
At this time also, Indus Valley, I remember you telling me, I don't know if this is very pertinent to the conversation, but what were you studying at Indus Valley?
I was studying graphic design, but I was doing a minor in film.
And is that where because the two threads road to Atomy Event is the song, which is real and new and now, and also the video, which is also a big deal. So how was that? Why visual? Why graphic design? And when did the film interest start? And also, thoda sa batana about how much of a situation you were in Indus Valley.
So I mean, I always wanted to do art. Even in A levels, I kind of wanted to do art. And my dad was like, bro, are you sure about that?
Mm.
So he was like, okay, fine. You do art, but do graphic design or architecture because that will get you
Job.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll do graphic design. And it was fine. Like I learned a lot of graphic design, but matlab ke, like when the first like film that I had to make in my minor, it was like a document. They were like, make a documentary, right? And I kind of made this really, ugh, like now I think it was very cringy, but like I kind of made like this mockumentary about the girls in Indus, and
कैंसिल तो नहीं हो
मतलब
जाओगे
कि
इस बात पे तुम?
most probably, but like not in like a, well, I mean, yeah, sort of a sexist way. Like it was more like what is the future prospects of someone who's a female, and in this parque,
Yeah, but it
whatever,
was like social commentary.
social commentary. Yeah,
Yeah, a not
it,
very mature person trying comedy, social commentary भी हो रही है. तो I mean, you can't
yeah,
expect के forever perfect एक product बनेगा, but it was something.
yeah,
And
I
how
mean,
did
like
that go once you made it?
that didn't go really well.
Right, that's
I
surprising.
mean, uh, don't bite the hand that feeds you wala thing kicked in for the school,
Yeah.
and उन्होंने मुझे फेल कर दिया और ने like धमकियां दी कि तुम्हें निकाल देंगे स्कूल में से,
Yeah.
all that kind of
Why did you
stuff.
make a mockumentary? Like, what was your exposure to mockumentaries at that time? ये आ चुका था Office वगैरह? Had you seen it?
Yeah, I mean, The Office came out in 2005, so this was
Okay.
around 2008, I believe.
Right.
So, but more so than that, I think I was very inspired by Borat and Ali
Borat,
G and
acha, yeah.
Sasha Baron Cohen wala scene.
Because your vibe is also not like if you say कि अच्छा जी आपको एक project बनाया हुआ and you made a mockumentary, not depend
Hmm.
regardless of the subject, people are like अच्छा हाँ that makes sense. But if you said कि
Yeah,
I made like a hardcore thriller, serious,
yeah,
people like भी हैं अच्छा that doesn't match your vibe.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but ये मतलब had Mega Boys happened at that time?
No, it
अच्छा ठीक है,
hadn't.
fine,
This is the first time I picked up like a video camera to make a film,
right.
and it was this.
This.
So
Did the girls of Indus Valley get to see this masterpiece?
yeah, there was like a full screening, and like a bunch of like girls watched it, and a lot of people like, I mean, most people found it really funny.
Okay.
They were like sure, it's controversial, but it's the truth. So
I thought you were gonna say it's a joke. But चलो ठीक है. ये सच है.
नहीं ये joke भी है. But हाँ मतलब कि obviously like in hindsight, yeah, it was like a really shitty move on my part,
Sure.
just like, but I mean, like there are other ways. Like I feel like like generally, like in Indus, I was trying to put a mirror up to society, and like I was one of those fuckers,
Sure.
so bas matlab ke hypocrisy of society, all that kind of shit. And I mean, the kid that was in Indus, I would probably like roll my eyes at him now, like okay, bro,
Sure.
stop it,
But वो वाली
but
बात ये भी है ना कि at the time that's
yeah,
that's what that kid had experienced and that was also the result.
yeah,
है ना?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
kids watching, it's fine if things are not very good.
If you're an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, maybe try not to be, but
No, try not to be.
Yeah. But
Yeah, not the best role model, but
so then you do this, they fail you. Any
yeah.
other big achievements before you pass out? I remember you kept mentioning when we met in
Hmm.
the early 2010s. So 2011, as we कल रात को हमने hypothesize किया, finalize किया.
Hmm.
You were like, bro, the teachers hated me at Indus Valley, and it also seemed like something that you weren't super upset about. You're like, ah, that's
Yeah, it's true.
yeah,
Like, I did this really stupid thing, like history of arts का एक एग्जाम था उसमें like मैं बस गाने लिख के आ गया और like it was about like ancient Greece and Rome and they were asking stuff like what is a siren जो mermaid वाली siren और मैंने बोला टू and just like मैं बस वो like there's basically मैं नहीं पढ़ के गया था बिल्कुल
right,
भी सही
right.
एंड और अगर मुझे कुछ पता भी था मैं उसका भी गलत जवाब दे रहा था सो लाइक मैं लॉज ऑफ अट्रैक्शन की बातें कर रहा था एंड उस टाइम में अराइवल्स भी बहुत इन हुआ होता तो आई वाज जस्ट काइंड ऑफ कोटिंग अराइवल्स जस्ट फॉर आई डोंट नो
Do you know
व्हाई आई डिड
why?
दैट
Yeah, do you know why you were being इस तरह से destructive type? Yeah, was it just did you not take it seriously? या कोई मसला था?
um I don't know I felt like whatever like I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that whatever traumas that I was kind of processing, they have been processed. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
so like wo, matlab ke, I don't know. I guess like every kind of teenage slash 20 early 20s person kind of has this chul in them. Like even now I see like people in that of that age and they're all kind of like badtameez and rude and
Sure.
but they don't want to be they're just like have become like that.
Okay.
So I think like मैं बदतमीज नहीं था मैं बस like बस मुझे मजाक करना था हर वक्त I just wanted to make light of a situation all
Mm,
the time
mm,
you know
mm.
so yeah I think yeah I think उस तरह की चीजें but whatever I mean eventually like I graduated and distinction भी मिल गई and
Oh, acha. How
every
did that come about?
uh,
That was a big shift.
yeah I mean I just worked really hard I
अच्छा,
guess
end में super
मतलब
मेहनत हो गई. Okay.
हाँ मतलब I think like I kind of used powers combined like graphic design filmmaking दोनों मिला के I kind of made like a really nice thesis and uh, like this one teacher actually came up to me and he was like there's a faculty में एक वो होता है एक betting scene होता है जिसमें we bet against who's going to pass or fail and I bet on you to fail and I've lost money because of you.
It's not
So
like I'm glad you finally found your way. It's like तूने मेरे
no,
पैसे जाया करवा
huh?
दिए.
Basically.
Wow. So there was no
So
like
no
moral
faith in me.
turnaround के I'm glad you proved me wrong. या इस तरह से.
I mean, sort of like uske baad, like he kind of became okay with me, but like like several years later, I was like, okay, I मुझे teaching का चल हो गया था. I was like, okay, give me a job in Indus as a teacher. He's like, bro, not you, not you. So
Acha, so you're done with
uh,
Indus.
yeah,
You get out of Indus. What happens then?
yeah.
You look for jobs. What happens with Sikandar Ka Mandir at that time?
I think my first job straight out of actually I was doing an internship at MTV Pakistan before I graduated.
Hmm.
Uh, and basically they had told me to make like a bunch of comedy videos based
Right.
on this one song that I made, a rap song with Shaji
Hmm.
under the name of Mega Boys called Ye Cheez.
Hmm. Achha,
So
so
they were
that had
like a
happened by that time.
yeah, that had happened in 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah. तो वो उन्होंने बोला था कि भाई हाँ, based on this, we want you to make like a whole show for us. So I was like, okay, I'll do it come this summer, 2011 ka summer.
Yeah.
So I get to work, or like within like a couple of weeks, MTV decides, okay, we're shutting down shop,
Yeah.
like dissolve ho raha hai.
Yeah.
So this was also kind of like a emergency situation for me, because to graduate I need to have an internship somewhere of at least a month. So I think that's when I kind of came to Dubai to do an internship with a graphic design agency. Hated it
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shaped how I wanted to shape my career.
ये नहीं करना.
Just that experience, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
ये नहीं करना. So like straight out of university, I think I kind of got into this place called Mad School. Uh, and basically I was a manager there, and I had to curate, events, musical events, any kind of like, stand up events, just entertainment, music, art, dance, Mad School. So yeah, I had to do all those things. And I think that's also around the time when like 2011 में मैं Lussun TV बना चुका था.
Yeah.
So this was basically, Lussun TV was a product of all the videos that I had already made for MTV Pakistan. And we just kind of decided to put it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
So there was like this, whole musical part of what I was doing, where I was like just getting underground indie musicians and kind of recording them live. Like for the first time we did was in this friend's basement. So someone famous liked it, and they're like, bro, ये तुम करो, हम पैसे देंगे तुम्हें, और तुम properly करो,
Yeah.
we'll make it into something. That turned into Lussun TV season 2. That famous person was Royal Hayat, and he gave me, I think, if I remember correctly, something around 3.5 lakhs to do this. And he gave me also all sorts of equipment and lighting shiting from his own studio ke tum karo. And basically his intention was that I'm trying to make Coke Studio alternative, and uska kuch, like maybe you can give me some demos and we'll see what we can do. So yeah, I don't think he liked it. He just kind of stopped responding to me after I gave it to him. So I decided, chalo, I'll just release this on my own after a delay and a half.
Yeah. अच्छा, इस टाइम पे ना एक दो चीजें हो रही थी. आई रिमेम्बर व्हेन वी मेट, नया यू शोड मी ये थर्ड वर्ल्ड प्रोडक्शंस और मेगा बॉयज वीडियोस और ये वो ना, एंड ये दिस वाज लाइक एन इंक्रीजिंग आर्क ऑन YouTube के people are getting into ये sketch comedy, and इस तरह गाने भी बन रहे हैं, सब कुछ हो रहा है. And then you had your Lussun TV etc वगैरह. And then Mad School पे भी तुम थे, and this is now after the 2010 period. So this is when the 2000 to 2010 wala music explosion ekdam se because of halat started dying down, like live music wala. And also after the soon after YouTube, and soon after we met, YouTube pe bhi ban lag gaya. So what were you thinking of doing at that time, and did these two things affect your plans at all?
In hindsight, I didn't really think about it back then, but yeah, it did. It did really affect my plans, and my coffee, like I've suffered because of that. I think I was generally, I would see the light of the situation, as I said, and because of that, like मैं ज़्यादा सोचता नहीं था. मैं छोटे gigs कराता था और मैं videos बनाता था लोगों के लिए, because I was like, why not, like कुछ तो हो, music का कुछ तो हो. तो I think, I just kind of used to do those gigs, chote gigs. Like we would have like, on a on good days we had 120 people come into our gigs. Like this was not just mat school, but T2F ke saath bhi humne sort of hamara scene, like Sabine like knew us on a first name basis, and we would kind of um, like she would call us, oh, by the way, wo festival ho raha hai, you guys should definitely perform. So it was like very ghar wala scene, like throughout all the performance venues in defense
Of
mostly
course, yeah,
in
yeah,
Karachi.
yeah.
So
So it was
so
what, T2F tha, bass rock tha, mat school tha,
yeah,
और yeah, इसी तरह की चीजें
pretty
थी.
much, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And then it all stopped.
So and then it, I mean, honestly, it didn't really stop. It just kind of like we kind of grew up, we kind of grew up from those venues as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this was also around the time when Sikandar Ka Mandir also kind of blew up, and
Yeah, first album aa chuki thi.
आ चुकी थी, indie
Yeah,
music
yeah,
का
yeah,
scene
yeah.
बन गया था. So like we were, we not only that, but like हमने काफी ज़्यादा और bands को sort of अपने group में शामिल
Yeah.
कर दिया था. And everyone was kind of doing their thing. Orange Noise tha, Mole tha, Jumbo Jet tha,
Hmm.
Bashir and the Pipe Pipers, So like we were all kind of gigging together, and everyone kind of started to do their thing. And I think around 2014 is when I kind of like arranged my last proper festival.
Yeah.
It was called the Empower Fest, because I mean, like, don't judge me, but there was some charity also involved in that, to empowerment वगैरह के point of view से.
Hmm. Is
So
this the Lussun tour?
oh no, the lesson tour happened like a year before this.
Oh, acha, okay.
And yeah, but the last one I did was the Empower Fest. But
For
the lesson
people,
tour, obviously,
yeah, for people who
yeah,
don't know, the Lussun tour was like a 3-city multi-band
yeah,
like gig tour thing that you along with some other people organized, which was at
yeah,
that time, मतलब माना कि चलो ये लोग कोट एंड कोट इंडी थे और मेन स्ट्रीम नहीं थे या जो भी था, पाकिस्तान में टूर का सीन नहीं था कि हम आ रहे हैं, हम सब आ रहे हैं आपके शहर.
yeah,
And it went quite well. I think a lot
yeah,
of people had their exposure, because when you go to like a place, you'd get wahan ke bands also, and a few bands from Karachi would be flying to all these places. So I think wo जो legend बना था ना सिकंदर का मंदिर का, I think that's when it really started, when people were like, अच्छा ये सब हैं, and also these are the guys who fucking put this shit together. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
and your first album was also out by that time, and then Empower Fest was also a big show. Was it in
yeah.
Lahore, right?
No, Empower Fest was in Karachi.
Okay.
But the show that you are talking about is Storm and a Teacup, like with Jamal Rahman, was a True Records wala boy. He basically put that together, and that's when we actually got exposure to all these Lahori musicians as well. Usse pehle we knew, like, Poor Rich Boy vagera, but that's when we kind of, Storm and a Teacup was basically the Khayabane Lussun tour, but uh, you know, we said like, अच्छा देखो ये हम कर रहे हैं, just kind of आ जाओ, like do this with us. So he called it the Stormer Teacup, and we had some really cool bands. We had Shajji, we had Sikandar Ka Mandir, we had Natasha Ejaz, we had Poor Rich Boy, we had Red Blood Cat, we had Jimmy Khan. There was a bunch of people who kind of showed up, and those same people, we performed with them in Lahore and in Islamabad. Islamabad we performed at Kush Khas, but in Lahore we performed in um, Piru's Cafe, which was a way bigger and kind of outdoor venue.
Yeah. And then
fair,
Empower Fest.
Empower Fest happened the year after. वो मैंने पूरा किया था arrange, and उसमें भी कोई ऐसी कोई 10 acts थे.
Yeah.
हाँ.
And it was like a long thing. It was like a full day sort of event.
Yeah, so it like started at around like 3 and it went up to like 12. So yeah, it was a long thing, and हमने काफी मतलब कि हमने stage भी set बहुत मजे का किया था, and we made like proper videos of all the acts, and we kind of lighting shiting and videos be and in the projectors, like it was a proper scene. I mean, like we were still kind of putting money out of our own pockets, but that I think that was the charm of it. बिल्कुल ये bare bones kind of scene tha.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And Sikandar Ka Mandir ki second album, when does that start?
I want to say 2017.
Okay. After all these things have happened.
All these things have happened. So basically, I think in 15, 16 is when I kind of got married. तो उस जमाने में मैं और काम शाम भी कर रहा था, but then I was kind of like I had already written a lot of those songs before, and that's when I kind of met Natasha Nurani and Zara Paracha, and they basically had shifted to Karachi, and they were performing gigs as Biryani Brothers at Sitar Baksh. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, we should definitely do something together. I like you guys' vibe. And, obviously LMM, maybe aa chuke the. They had both invited us to LMM a couple of times before. So I think what happened was कि Natasha Nurani ने तो मुझे बोला कि यार तुम मेरे लिए गाना लिखो, तो वो मैंने बना दिया उनके लिए. But Zara Pracha was like not Zara Pracha, but I was rather like you should be in this band and you should help out, and we've got these songs and it's going to be great. I think Natasha Nurani was more like उसको अपना कुछ बनाने की कोशिश करनी थी, तो like cool. So that's when I kind of wrote Ikisvi Sati for Biryani Brothers, and at the same time Zara was kind of helping me finish the production for Chattis. So Zara, me and Ali kind of finally got down together, and I think within like 6 months we kind of finished the whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happened? How was the response to that album? You had built up like a lot of goodwill by all the gigs and so वगैरह. First album में कुछ फिल्मों में भी feature हुए थे गाने उसके. बादशाह was very famous.
Yeah.
And then the second album also was like, I think it's super good. But what was the reaction, response वगैरह to it? And did you guys get to do like a lot of gigs वगैरह on the back of it?
So I think right after Chattis came out, we did a couple of gigs in Lahore, and uska response काफी अच्छा आया था, and just generally our album was doing pretty decently online.
Yeah.
So we actually got the chance to headline LMM. That I think maybe a few months after the album came out. And उस वक्त तक हमने क्या कर दिया था कि हमारी जो लाइव साउंड है वो सारी like Ableton के through कर दी थी. It was all through clicks and everything. So we kind of were like completely like machine बन गए थे. हमारे गाने बजाने में, right? So I think after that we kind of obviously we headlined, and उसके बाद we did a lot of gigs. We were invited to Lums to play काफी ज़्यादा. We were like स्कूलों में बजाया काफी ज़्यादा. We even played a a wedding,
Mm.
just playing our own songs.
Yeah.
तो वो सारी चीजें हुई थी. But yeah, I think वो general जो online response and just generally like I feel like we kind of became like the without really tooting my own horn, but we kind of became like the voice for these kids who, I don't know, like जो थोड़े से डिफरेंट से बच्चे थे, थोड़े से मेरी तरह से जो अजीब से बच्चे थे, who like have different opinions about things in Pakistan and their environment in general. And I think that resonated with people a lot. I don't know whether it was the lyrics or what we represented, but like हमें हर I mean, I wouldn't say har tabka, but like a very specific tabka of kids who all kind of like we saw them at all our gigs, and we like they always bought our merch, and I think that kind of uh, became like our our cult following in a way. Eh, it's the like they became like the indie crowd. They became the. I mean, um, there have been kids who've like really come up to us and said, you guys have like changed our lives and stuff, because I am the way I am, or my parents don't accept me the way I am, or school doesn't accept me the way I am, but I feel a lot more confident being who I am because of what you have to say. So I think that was generally our target market, if you really want to be so crude about it. So,
But when writing the song, this is not something that you were explicitly aiming for. You were just writing about what you wanted to write about. But तुम ये voice of the voiceless इतना consciously बनना चाह रहे थे, या was that something that happened because it's true?
Bro, I feel like I was voiceless for like for a while. मतलब कि मुझे
Yeah.
like art school boy in Pakistan. I'm not like I don't come from a very wealthy family or anything like that, or मतलब कि I don't know, like I just didn't really agree with a lot in this country, and I just I was just voicing my own uh, problems, concerns, and
Yeah, but I guess because it was honest, it resonated with ये बच्चे. Without like if it was like a manufactured effort, तो फिर शायद इतना वो sincere response शायद ना आता लोगों में. अच्छा, तो when do people start going out and doing their own thing from Sikandar Ka Mandir after the second album? Because then at some point Ali, Sohail and Zara both moved to Lahore. You moved from Karachi to Islamabad as well. What time frame is that?
So Ali Sohail was always kind of making his own music, like side by Wasi with Jumbo Chat, and then Ali Sohail as Ali Sohail. But Zara, uska to Biryani Brothers bhi chal raha tha. Like I wrote those first two tracks for them, and they were like, "Acha, we want to do our own thing also." But I think Ali Sohail really kind of, I think uska wasta Zen P and Daud or Yusuf ke saath kafi zyada unka, like they seem to get along really well, and I think that's when Takatak kind of formed, and Ali kind of shifted to Lahore because not only Takatak, but also he kind of found a job over there.
Right.
In a school, he was a music teacher. He is a music teacher in a school.
Good. Yeah.
And Zara bhi, matlab ke she shifted to Lahore beach mein while I was still in Karachi. So wo kind of, that just kind of, it was at first really convenient because, ज़्यादातर हमारे gigs लाहौर में ही होते थे. Um, but then eventually I also shifted to Islamabad like uh, maybe 3 years ago, and that's when Zara decided that, oh, by the way, I'm going back to Karachi. So I think around that time when Zara decides she wanted to go back to Karachi is when things kind of became a little more tough to do Sikandar Ka Mandir. It was like geographically, like, it made more sense when we were sitting together in the studio, or just together and making songs. So it just kind of got a lot harder. Like, even if we would send each other songs, they uh, like their version of it or would come maybe very late. So there was no like proper catalyst for making those songs. So I think that's when I kind of decided कि अच्छा खुद ही करना है, सब कुछ खुद ही करना है. And that led me on this really like tough journey of kind of figuring out, like, sure मुझे थोड़ा बहुत पता था like production के बारे में, but like I wasn't really very well versed on it, or especially like on newer techniques, and I was very basic that way.
Because पहले
So
तो
like
I guess ये Zara and Ali would do a lot in this area, na? In terms of production. They were the main people.
They were mixing mastering for Sikandar Ka Mandir mostly.
Yeah.
मतलब कि mostly क्या वही कर रहे थे.
Yeah.
तो I think that's when I decided कि हाँ मैं खुद करूँगा सारी चीजें. So that's when I started working on this song and a bunch of other songs जो अभी निकालूंगा मैं eventually. Like I think there are about 12 or 13 songs that I want to kind of आहिस्ता kind of release. But I think what really helped was I started teaching and also getting teachers for myself. तो I learned मैंने बीच में मैंने एक उस्ताद के साथ भी रियाज सीखा है. मैंने गिटार टीचर भी मैंने I had online for a few classes, but then I also did a lot of tutorials online. A lot of like basically I started investing in my craft, like in singing and in guitar playing, in songwriting. तो मैंने प्रॉपर इसको टाइम दिया, और मैं पढ़ाते भी मेरे जो बेसिक्स है पढ़ाते हुए भी मेरे बेसिक्स है वो काफी टाइट होना शुरू हो गए and everything. So that's when I kind of started developing or kind of conceptualizing what I want my sound to be like. I don't know if this song in particular is too much of a departure from what Sikandar Ka Mandir used to sound like.
Yeah.
But I think what I wanted to do was I wanted to make it sound like, मतलब कि ये सारी मुझसे आई ये चीजें, instead of कि Ali Sohail or Zara Paracha or anyone else की ये सारी मेरी बनाई हुई चीजें हैं. So I got myself a new guitar, and then I started to collect a bunch of pedals and just try to make a very unique sound, try to find the kind of VSTs that would kind of match what I'm trying to conceptualizing in my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's when I start, like around that time, I started to go on that journey on my own.
Yeah. Okay. And specifically then, now that we're at this stage where your song has come out last night, Atomy Event, do you want to talk about the specific like process of making this song, what it's about, and also the video which took you fucking ages to make because it is so complicated?
Yeah. So Atomy Event was the first song that I made for myself.
Yeah.
And not for Sikandar Ka Mandir. I did want this to be a Sikandar Ka Mandir song, and I did send it to those guys, but and after a few months, like Ali did send me something, but I then decided that I want to And that's also a version, by the way, that exists that, I can make you listen to. But, I was like, नहीं मुझे खुद अपनी चीज करनी है, ये थोड़ा सा proper करना है. So this, like I said, this song is like almost 3 years old now. Atomy Event, and इसके कोई 4 different versions हैं, और हर 4 जो versions है उसके different iterations कोई पता नहीं 50 होंगे. So I think this version was what I initially wanted it to sound like, but that version was a lot more slowed down. It was, I think it was 100 BPM, and this is about 110 BPM. So I think we'll just speeding everything up kind of really tightened stuff up a lot more. This is also around the time that मेरी मिसबा से बहुत अच्छी दोस्त हो गई थी. तो
shout out Pyar or Such.
Pyar or Such, Rescue the Frog, Misbah music.
Yeah.
Misbehavior on
Misbehavior,
Instagram.
yes.
So he kind of was like, bro, like you have some really good songs. Why don't you come and refine them at my studio? We can like record them properly, and you can do your vocals properly in my properly padded studio. And वरना मैं यहाँ पे literally यहाँ पे बैठ के मैं कर रहा होता था सारी चीजें. So हाँ, उसके पास अच्छा mics भी हैं, अच्छा एक amp भी था. So yeah, I think इस गाने के मैंने guitars और vocals वहाँ पे जाके record किए, and then he was like, अच्छा, okay, you know what, I'm gonna mix this song. So like I did all the instrumentation, I did the drums, I did the bass, I did the I think the dhol and the tabla parts, and uske baad he basically took over and kind of he just added, I think, a couple of synths which are very like low in the mix. They just add some atmospheric sort of presence, but basically usne pura mix kiya is gaane ko. And this particular mix was one of the first mixes that he made out of 3. And the second mix, like, wo bhi sahi tha, but it basically, okay, I had come to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm not happy with this song. There's something missing in it. ये वो मैं सारों से पूछ चुका था भाई क्या सीन है, क्या करूं इसके साथ. And I think my self-doubt kind of like delayed the process quite a bit, and kind of like people kind of start catching up on it. And I think Umar Ahmed kind of picked it up, and he was like, Acha, you know what? I think we can change the arrangement a little bit. Umar Ahmed also Janubi Khargosh, and now he has his own song called Divana. Check that out. Kafi fit gaana hai. So he basically changed the arrangement for me, and it started to sound like यार वो क्या नाम है उस बंदे का, वो जो ब्रूनो मार्स के साथ उसने जो गाना किया था ना,
एंडरसन.
नहीं बिफोर दैट, जो सिर्फ प्रोड्यूस करता है, वो गाता नहीं है.
Rick Rubin. Mark Ronson.
Yes, it started to sound like a Mark Ronson song. It was a lot more I don't know, it was a lot more
retro disco upbeat
funk. इस तरह का, So I don't know. I mean, that was also an okay version, but it wasn't me. I didn't feel like, okay, this is representative of me.
Yeah.
I decided, I think March of this year, कि हाँ मैं ये इसकी वीडियो बनाऊंगा. तो मैंने इसकी I got like a green screen at my house, and I got like this video, this DOP called Shamber, who I've been working with for a while on documentaries and TV ads वगैरह जो मैं बनाता हूँ. That's my other job.
Yeah.
So he basically came in, and like we shot on a FS5, Sony FS5. It's like a broadcast sort of camera, thora bada sa camera, and we shot all the green screen footage there. And basically मैंने Pinterest board banaya tha with the kind of feel and look I kind of wanted, and kind of decided कि अच्छा, okay, I'm gonna shoot everything, like from my face to my guitar to like my guitar picks to my keyboard to my reverb to everything in different angles and kind of movement ke saath and everything. And then I'd sort of do what I saw on my Pinterest board. And I started to do it, but I was like, yeah, there's not enough footage. Or it just needs something else. It just, it's not popping,
Yeah. Was it just you at this point in the
Yeah.
video? It was just everything was another shot.
all the green screen footage and all the archive footage मैं मार्च से मैं करते हुए आ रहा था.
अच्छा, archive footage थी उस वक्त.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I planned around the archive footage, right? So like I was working on this documentary called How She Moves. It's a dance documentary. I edited that. So they had found a lot of footage from archive.gov. It's a US archive website जिसमें free की आपको वो मिलती है. And this was like documentary footage from the 50s Pakistan. Basically गोरे आके पाकिस्तान को शूट कर रहे थे कि भाई next investment का scene, So I took footage from that and kind of made it into like, वो एक हो गया scene, and then I was like, अच्छा, okay, need something else. So I again deep dived on Pinterest, and उस जमाने में वो भी मैं बहुत TikTok पे बहुत देख रहा था. So I saw this TikTok video where this guy had emptied out a TV and उसने एक LED screen TV के अंदर लगा ली थी, and उस पे उसने visuals लगाए थे, but I couldn't find like an LED screen, a portable LED screen, which was the size of the TV or any TV that would fit on my head, right? I think sare like ya to I could have gotten like an iPad or something, or the portable TVs जो मुझे मिल रहे थे वो बहुत expensive थे और कोई 22-inch max के थे. I think this TV was a little more than that. So then I decided कि मैं green paper चढ़ा दूंगा TV पे and just kind of shoot and see what happens, right? So I found this place यहाँ पे इस्लामाबाद में लोक विरसा से like 5 minutes दूर. There's NCA was I found out recently कि वो वहाँ पे एक NCA बनना था, and there's these really really cool looking abandoned buildings. That kind of just are there, and they've been there since the Musharraf ke time se. And like nobody does anything there. They're just abandoned. There's greenery growing around that. There's like building material and building vehicles that are just they've been there for the past 20 years. So we just decided, I'll just go with my TV and shoot over there. And I think I just kind of designed my.
And you did all the visual effects yourself?
Yeah. I mean,
what, After Effects?
No.
Oh.
I did everything on Premiere.
What? ये हो जाता है Premiere पे? Masking वगैरह करके making shit. Oh, अच्छा. Did you choose not to use After Effects for a reason?
Bro, I'm not very well versed in After Effects. Premiere पे मेरा like 100 हाथ बैठा हुआ है. So I just kind of like I think I just got to a point where I was masking in everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, why not? Just go crazy with my masking. So pretty much that's what happened. Like when then I started designing everything based on a lot of Pinterest concepts that I had. And जो भी मुझे material मुझे मिल रहा था, जो भी like you know green screen जैसे मछलियाँ या jellyfish या जो भी चीज़ें मुझे मिल रही थी उसके around पे मैंने concept बनाना शुरू किया. There was a lot of like face distortion and animal and human hybrid kind of bonding. So not the right word,
Yeah, that's an awkward word to
but
use.
um, तो
But अच्छा, I'm
वो वाली
surprised that this was
चीजें.
all in
हाँ
Premiere because it's like काफी कुछ.
हाँ हाँ.
Yeah. Wow.
So like बस अगर तुम में सिर्फ nested sequences सारी देखो, like I have like at least like 30 nested sequences, because like uh, एक तो आप बना लो ना, and then if you want to like kind of like zoom in, like with all that stuff you need to kind of bake everything in and then zoom it in, or kind of have
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
movement or whatever. So like there's a bunch of like, and then color mats बहुत ज़्यादा हैं, so basically there's just a lot of like, I mean if you look at my timeline it's all like
Yeah. Hopefully we'll look at
बहुत
it.
खिचमच है. हाँ
Yeah. Yeah. When we make the thing. But अच्छा.
हाँ
So how long did it take you to make this video?
यार like I said मैंने मार्च में शुरू किया था, वो वाली शूट की थी. March में I had already, like before the shoot I had already placed all of the archive footage that I wanted to use. I selected all that, but then I shot the TV shots somewhere in August. And I think between August and now, which is November, I kind of was confused about the song and how I wanted to be. तो बीच में वो उमर अहमद वाला भी गाना बन गया था, so I kind of started to edit on that as well.
Yeah.
तो उसके back and forth में इतना delay हुआ है. So then eventually what I did was कि I was like, just forget it. Let's see what it sounds like if I speed it up, and voila, I liked it a lot better. And also like मैं काफी ज़्यादा stuck हो गया था video बनाने में, because like every shot was like a creative decision. It wasn't like a learned decision or like something I'd seen somewhere, right? So like the Pinterest was like a good inspiration, but it wasn't really what I was doing. I wasn't really like copy pasting that idea. So I had to kind of like, based on the footage that I have and based on the elements that I had to see what I can do inspired by this Pinterest board. So like each shot was like a creative decision, इसमें मुझे क्या लेना है. And then I got so stuck in it कि अच्छा इसको मैं like मुझे I had to think कि अच्छा अभी मुझे next shot के लिए क्या करना है, इस वाले portion के लिए क्या करना है. And I kind of forgot that I could actually also repeat things, So like then I was like, bro, like take it easy. You can repeat at least 2 बार तो repeat
Good
कर सकते हो
scenes.
एक चीज
Yeah.
को.
Yeah.
हाँ तो वो मैंने करना शुरू किया, तो फिर like even if I repeated it मैं कोई extra कोई element डाल देता था just to
Make it
not
unique.
have
Yeah.
it look
Yeah.
like
Okay.
तो like yeah.
3
काफी
to 4 months of direct मेहनत.
um
Apart from
I
like
mean
direction changes or ये वो.
yeah. I mean to be honest, like it was always on my mind, but yeah, let's say 3 to 4 mahine, because I think more than anything it was like जब मैं फारिग होता था, जब मैं कोई काम नहीं कर रहा होता, I just sit with the timeline in front of me and I'd be like मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ इसका, like what can I do, what like कोई creatively क्या सोच सकता हूँ इसके बारे में, what can I add to this, because like literally like all I had was green screen footage of me. What can I do with, or my guitars or whatever, right? What could I do with all that stuff, like I had to come up with all that concept around it and kind of have it kind of legible or कोई एक concept चल रहा हो throughout. So that was like the toughest part, just staring at my screen for hours.
Do you think you'll do this again? Or will you have someone else make your videos?
No, bro. of course I'll do it myself. Like, मतलब के, I mean, I think this brand of music video, like I've kind of made like my own kind of look and feel,
Yeah.
and I don't think I can give it to someone else to
Yeah.
do, you know. Like it's like one of those things, like, you know, like sure, David Gilmour टाइप का कोई गिटारिस्ट होगा और जो भी होगा, राइट,
Yeah.
लाइक उस सादी सी चीज होती है, बट लाइक वो सिर्फ जब वो बजाता है तो फील आती है, यू नो. आई मीन व्हाट, that sounds so
Yeah,
full of myself, but yeah,
Nadir actually is saying that he is the David Gilmour of Pakistan. I
no,
think
no,
that's
no.
what we all understood from this
in
statement.
in editing, yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, the David Gilmour of Pakistani
of
music video editing
editing,
in
yeah,
Islamabad, in his area. He is.
in yeah, in my house,
I think that's safe to say. That's safe to say.
yeah,
Yeah, in your house, if there's anyone, it's you.
yeah,
All right. I think we should do the full breakdown. I don't want to commit to it क्योंकि तुम्हारा schedule मुझे नहीं पता, मेरा schedule मुझे नहीं पता. But I think it
okay,
would be good to have like a, you know, ताकि लोगों को पता चले. And also because you're doing this mostly on your own. Like 90% of all the Misbah did the mixing. Other people gave you some back and forth. Some guy came with a camera. They helped you record. ठीक है. But 90% of the मेहनत हम कह सकते हैं without being egotistical के that's you.
yeah,
Right? Yeah. So
yeah.
if he can do it, you can do it. ये देखा हमने कैसे हमने. Anything else? Do you know when your next song is coming out? You're going to take a while? Are you going to wait on this? What do you hope people take from this?
My next song is ready.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to release it in January because like मैंने उसकी video भी shoot कर ली है, but I have to edit it now, and I'm going to Dubai in December and I want to take a break.
Right.
So I think January, like before mid-January, I'm going to release it.
If you want to hear the
like,
story
inshallah.
about the Dubai visit, that will be next week's episode, which will be a Chalan Crew episode. उसमें बड़े scene हो रहे हैं, तो आप वो भी सुनिएगा. But okay, January is what we're hoping for. ठीक है.
Yeah.
I think this is good. We didn't talk about a lot of things. We didn't talk about your film work. We didn't talk about your documentary work. But I guess road to Atomy Event. जो था ये, so I guess we've achieved quite a few things. Hopefully, is the fire won't mess anything up. Any closing message Pakistan की youth के लिए?
बस यार, be yourself, do your thing, love your life, Pakistan.